Hey, yo, what's up? What's going on? This is Caribblast. Of course, you know this is Lestah and we are covering the Caribbean like the island breeze. I got a very interesting guest here with me sitting in tonight. An artist. She's very talented. She does a lot of work around the world. She's been places that you wouldn't expect. But we're going to get her in here. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about some things. And also going to let you know what the appearance is from a small Caribbean island. I'm going to tell you about that a little later. But for right now, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with the artist herself, the lovely and the talented. We'll be right back with much more right here on Caribblast, covering the Caribbean like the island breeze. Listen, check us out at myspace.com/Caribblast for more of the show that we're about to do and any other thing you want to know about Caribblast. Remember, it's myspace.com/Caribblast for all you want to know about this wonderful, wonderful experience. Now, like I told you earlier, I've got the lovely and the talented young lady. I was quite impressed when I was introduced to her, and you know, when I found out the stuff that she has done and the places that she has been because of her talent. And also just to find out that she was born here in America with her parents, Antiguan.
Yes, Antiguan.
Small little island, 100 square miles.
Yeah. Island in the sun, right?
Yes, yes. 365 beaches and all that wonderful
Yes,
stuff.
and all of that.
So, you know, before we get into your profession, again, she's the lovely and talented artist, Miss Laura James. Excuse me.
Thank you, Lestah.
How are you doing today, Laura?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
Okay, fine, good. Listen, okay, before we get into your profession, which is artist, and you know, like I said, she's talented, and you know, when we touch on that, you'll be like, wow, mesmerized. You'll be blown away with this girl's
Oh
accomplishments.
God, I hope so.
No, they hear us saying that their parents are in thing. Who are your parents?
Oh my goodness.
So at least we can say hi to mommy and daddy.
Lachlan and Eileen James.
Good evening,
of
Lachlan.
Paradise View.
Excuse me, let me take the Mr. Mrs. Lachlan James of
Yes.
Paradise View. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. So,
I love you.
so I mean, how has that influenced you as far as you know, your paintings right now?
Well, I paint in two different styles. I paint icons in the Ethiopian Christian art style.
Okay.
And, you know, my childhood, you know, growing up going to church, you know, it informed me to be interested in the Bible, let's say,
Okay.
and in Bible stories.
You
And
see, that's a good thing that your parents taught you. They took you to church, you see?
And
You
I
see?
also paint non-religious paintings where most of my work is revolving around women, pictures of women and families and things like this.
Okay.
And I have one series of paintings in particular that it's an ongoing series called Nannies and Other Mothers, where I paint pictures dealing with nannies and domestic workers and things like this, which is something that I'm familiar with growing up. And also, you know, there are lots of these people all around the place, but
Right.
they're not necessarily shown in the media and popular culture. So, you know, I started painting a couple of these paintings with, you know, nannies, women taking care of children that obviously are not their children, and maybe like what they might be thinking about this as they're doing it. And I don't know. I started to do that without thinking about a series or anything like this, but I've done more of these paintings, and you know, people are interested in them, and it's an interesting topic for me. So,
Okay, so what age were you when you decided, well, listen, I'm good at this and I want to be an artist? When you decide not to do a regular 9 to 5, don't want the boss, do your own thing.
you know, and this was a good thing that my parents did for me as well. The parents that I love.
Two
Good things.
It's in the church now.
When I was 18, they
They bought you a painting set?
no, they moved back to Antigua.
Ah,
And they left us in the house
Okay.
that you know, in their house, and we didn't really have to pay rent and stuff like this. So, you know, I don't know. I saw a book, and when I was walking on Fulton Street in Brooklyn, this book called Ethiopian Magic Scrolls in a bodega. And, you know, the pictures on the front were like black angels, you know, and it was very colorful and very beautiful. And I was really impressed, you know, so I bought the book. And, you know, I read in the book how Ethiopian priests or lay people would actually copy these very same images that were in this book.
Okay.
And, you know, they have healing powers and all this. There are lots of different, you know, different things that these images could do. So I copied them just the way that they are because, that was acceptable, whatever. And I practiced and practiced and practiced, and I got good at it.
So now, by doing these paintings of the Bible, biblical paintings, you were able to even venture further. Was an awarded an opportunity to do something major. Tell us about that.
Well, the biggest highlight of my career so far has definitely been being commissioned to illustrate a book of the Gospels, a lectionary, primarily used by the Roman Catholic Church.
Okay.
I was commissioned to paint 34 paintings that were put into this new reading of the Book of the Gospels. Basically, it's a very important book in Roman Catholic Church. The priest carries it in every Sunday, and they read from it every Sunday. And the publisher actually saw my work on the internet. Someone from the company was just like searching the web, and they stumbled upon my work.
Those wonderful pictures. Okay.
Yeah, I was very, very pleased to get that call. The very good thing about the book is that because the images are, of non-traditional, I guess you could say. They're black people, in other words. The book is used by many different denominations, many different people all around the world, have this book in their church, and it's a good thing.
Okay. So I want to tell you guys right now, in the morning you get up, you go out there and you look for, what's the Book of the Gospels?
It's called the Book of the Gospels.
The Book of the Gospels. And you see those paintings in there. It will say, painting done by Laura James. This is the young lady that did this. Not, and remember her parents is Antiguans. Yeah, so all that is instilled in her, the hard work and
Thank you.
Strong. Grew up with some ethics and all that. Got some spanking and stuff. But she didn't like that. But obviously she turned out to be beautiful and wonderful, as you can see. And her kids are also very
and
sweet
I do not spank them. Never.
Anyway, we gotta take a break, and we gotta show some of Ms. James's work. While we take a break, stick around and check it out. Remember, these paintings are done by Laura James. You can find them in the Book of the Gospel. Tomorrow, go check it out. Go on the website. Give us your website where you can check it out.
My website is laurajamesart.com.
Check it out, or you can check Caribblast, and we'll give you more information on Miss Laura James. Check out some wonderful paintings by Miss Laura James. Well, that was some pictures from Miss Laura James. Remember, you can check the Book of the Gospels, and find it primarily in the Roman Catholic Church. Or check out her website, laurajamesart.com, and you get more information on where you can find some more of that lovely book and more of her paintings.
Yes.
Right, Laura?
Yes.
Good. Now, let's stick with the Bible, the Gospel. Now let's talk about the Ethiopians. Most of your paintings are influenced by Ethiopians. Tell us more about that.
Yes, Ethiopian Christian art, which, as I said, has been around since pretty much like the 14th century. They started to paint icons for the church. Although Ethiopia has been a Christian country since the 4th century, so, they've had a very long tradition of Christianity there.
Right.
And one thing that I tried to do early on was to paint Ethiopian saints and people that are particular to Ethiopia, not necessarily to the King James Version of the Bible, because they did have, lots of images of people like Tekle Haymanot, who is a very important Ethiopian saint, and, even St. George, and, different, Lalibela is another Ethiopian saint. So to familiarize people with, black saints.
Would we find, so we wouldn't find Haile Selassie in this group?
Well, I haven't done a picture of him like that. As a matter of fact, that's not true. I did.
You did? Okay.
I did actually
don't
paint a
think
painting like
I don't
that.
think he was a saint, but hey,
Well, no, it's actually a
he's in a
painting that I
different
did
category.
of his coronation in his coronation outfit.
Okay.
I yes, I did do that.
Rastafari.
Yeah, Rastafari.
Not yet.
So I as an aside, I will say that I had many Rastafarian friends, in Brooklyn, and so when I saw the Ethiopian Mythic Scroll book, I recognized it because of a lot of the Rastas that I knew that would talk about Ethiopia all the time, and very proudly. So it was, it all comes together.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Ethiopian saints, and also I like to, to kind of bridge as a kind of bridge between the religious and secular work that I do. I started a series of paintings about slavery,
Okay.
and I did them in the Ethiopian style, although it's a non-religious subject, and slavery is something that is very important, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
We all learn about slavery since we entered school, so it's important.
And I felt compelled to put a couple of paintings down with the theme of slavery. So.
Now, while you're doing these paintings, are you like reflecting on the stuff you've read, or you
Oh,
just
definitely.
okay?
Oh, yes, I like to read. I read lots of things because, I want to know about stuff, and
Right.
also I like I said before, I paint, stories and just different, things that are true and real, and things that people can relate to. Obviously I have an imagination. I make things
Right.
up, but
So you don't fantasize, do you?
yes, I do.
Or you don't paint
But
stuff that they'll,
It all has a basis in reality,
Okay.
because hey, reality is good too.
Is the best thing.
Yeah. So anyway.
That's it. Well, now we're gonna look at some more of Mr. James' painting. Then we'll be right back. It's Caribblast, covering the Caribbean like the island breeze. Caribblast. Remember, we're covering the Caribbean like the island breeze. It's Laura James, Lestah Cool. Now, Laura, I know you're a very busy girl. I'm here in your studio and I see a lot of paintings all over, some wonderful people and some things here. Now, how about like workshops and stuff? Who are the other artists that you are influenced by?
Workshops.
As far as like you doing a workshop, or do you go to workshops and stuff, or are you still learning, or you just sit back here in your studio and you just create?
Oh, I don't tend to go to workshops to learn art, although I have done that kind of stuff. I am self-taught.
Back in early stages, huh?
Well, I'm self-taught, which really is, practicing
Right.
what is inside. Pretty much, I guess that's what it is.
So you don't care what they do, this is what you're doing.
Yes,
Right.
pretty much.
Confidence, huh? Okay.
Yes.
So like art shows, do you go to art shows and stuff?
Oh, well,
Other
I
galleries?
love to go to museums.
Okay.
I like to go to museums. I like to go and look at art in galleries and things like this. And, this is New York City, so it's
Filled.
filled. And I find that so many people, including artists, they don't go out and look at anything. And I don't know why, because it's out there. And it's very important, I think, to see what other people are doing. And totally does not mean that you have to do what they're doing.
Right, just
But,
see from
I
somewhere.
like art. I like art. I like artists. I like, images, and I like to look at nice things and things that are not that nice. So,
Painted. Now I noticed you got some paintings on the wall of some women.
yes.
Quite a few, so you wanna tell us about that?
Yeah, painting women is, you know, I'm a woman, so, you know, I paint what I know, you know.
Gosh, I was thinking, I wasn't sure. God, thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I don't know why I paint women so much. I think it is really just because I'm a woman
Yes,
and just, you know, what the kind of things that I would think about or, you know, or just my experience. You know, a lot of my work is not necessarily, it's not me that I'm painting, even though I have painted myself in pictures. But, you know, my experience. So it's like mundane, kind of boring things, but, you know, I think people can relate. And
women can relate.
well, women can relate, and also men. You know, I've got lots of men who are collectors. You know, who like my work. You know,
They have wives.
they have wives. Some of them do. You know, some of them don't. You know, but you know, I remember like in 7th grade or something, my art teacher said, you know, women are really, you know, it's like we were painting people, and she said something about how women, like, they've got all these curves and everything. There's so much to paint, you know. It was a weird thing for this lady to say in 7th grade.
I like the curves.
But I always remembered
Painter
it, you know.
right.
I mean, because I like to paint, like, you know, shapes, like big shapes, and just like the lines that I use and all of this,
Okay.
you know, their bodies are more conducive to that. And you know, it's like, it's something real that I'm saying. It's not like I'm just like, oh, I like to paint women, you know, because I don't tend to paint men in my secular work. And, you know, I'm not very good at that anyway.
Got it. Well, no, I mean, not to say that because. Now, I mean, before you start, like, how long you would dedicate some time to a particular painting?
You know,
Other than the science, of course, yeah.
I start with the sketch. You know, some people just could go and paint something, but I usually have a sketch, and you know.
So you actually use pencils?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I draw a sketch first of all,
And then you paint it.
and then I project it or paint it freehand on canvas, or whatever it is that I'm painting on, and then I'll work on it. And it can take, you know, it can take 3 weeks, it can take a month, it can take 2 weeks.
No, it depends.
It all depends on, you know, how I feel about it. You know, I have really been very lucky in that I have been able to, you know, pretty much work at my own pace. A lot of people who I work for in terms of doing commissions and stuff like this, they're very, very understanding and very, you know, very understanding about letting me take my time.